When it comes to tomorrow's Pet Fest, they say that they're trusting their guests to not show up sick, wear a mask, and to keep at least 6 feet apart from each other. The homeowner tells me that he put them up because he just had a message that he wanted to get across. Now, as for his neighbors, they put up this giant Frosty the Snowman because they say that they were just tired of looking at the yard signs. Bicyclists have to stay in the street, and for someone like me who doesn't ride often, it's a little intimidating. OPPD says it's important to not touch any power lines and you should treat them as if they are still charged. Now, OPPD predicts that 85% of people will have their power restored by midnight tonight. The owners of Monolithic Brewery said they wanted to build in this area because 1, they live over here, and 2, they said it had potential. So the big thing that they focused on last week was getting large debris like this out of the roadways. The important thing to remember about this drive-up testing is that you can't just show up and expect to get treated. It's by appointment only.
They are still bringing in efforts from Des Moines. We have, of course, resources from Omaha as well, and then some of our national partners with the FBI.
I printed out the list of people who were arrested last night, and it's more than 15 pages long. Many of these people were arrested for failure to disperse and obstructing traffic. A large crowd protested near Farnham and 29th Street Saturday night to support justice for James Scurlock, a man killed last month in Omaha, and to stand in solidarity with other protests happening in Portland. But police say the protest became unlawful when people started blocking the streets and throwing barricades at officers. Cops don't care! Police say 109 people were taken into custody Saturday night, most of them, 75%, from the protest. Many protesters say they posted bond, but still couldn't get out. The Douglas County Department of Corrections says it was going through routine computer maintenance and couldn't process the payments.
And I was one of the lucky ones and got bailed out with the first wave of like 4 or 5 people. And then ever since then, we have still about 50 additional people inside, not being given access to food or water.
Gene Summerlin is an attorney who says his sister-in-law, son, and wife were also arrested.
She was in a cell that had a listed capacity of 14 people that had 43 women in it, and the toilet was overflowing.
Summerlin says after talking to many protesters, he believes some of their rights may have been violated.
A number of those people were standing on the sidewalk where they have a First Amendment right to be and to protest.
As people came out, many in the crowd became visibly emotional.
I think they can break us psychologically, make us starve, teach us a lesson that we won't come back. That's what they want to do. Unfortunately, they're wrong. We will keep coming back.
The ACLU of Nebraska tells me it has put together a fund to help protesters who feel their rights may have been violated Saturday night. Marcus Hawley says he just wanted a place for his kids to be able to do their work that was comfortable. So that's why he started making desks. He says that he posted his desk on Facebook and then it really blew up. We've seen a lot of shortages so far this year. At first, it was toilet paper. Now desks are nearly impossible to find.
Every place I went to try to collect one or buy one, there wasn't no more, nowhere.
Like many kids in Omaha, Marcus Hawley's kids are going to school at home. He wanted them to have a workspace, so he built one.
So they can have like a workstation, you know, somewhere to work instead of at a table or at their bed or, somewhere uncomfortable.
He showcased the desk he made on Facebook and told his friends that if anyone wanted a desk, he'd be happy to build it. That was back on August 20th. Fast forward to now and he's made over 70 desks for kids all over the metro. Each desk takes him about 20 minutes to make.
I don't want to throw nothing together and just to hurry up and get it out there. I want them to have, good quality desks.
Hawley has been doing it for free, but it's getting expensive.
So it's just been going up slowly but surely. It was 24, then it was 28, then it was 30.
So far, a GoFundMe he created has raised over $7,000, which he says will help. When the work is done, he puts the desk in the back of his truck and drives to deliver them straight to families.
That's when I feel my best, helping somebody else, especially children. You know, I don't have a better feeling.
And Marcus says that his main expense is wood. So if you want to help, like he says, the price keeps going up. We have a link to his GoFundMe at fox42kptm.com. This group wanted to walk a mile in Zachary Barahill's shoes, literally. So they took the 4-mile walk from 16th and Jackson here all the way here to Vogel Park. The brand new billboard is only a couple miles away.
My hope is that everybody who drives down Saddle Creek Road and sees this billboard, or drives by 60th and Grover, where our second billboard will be put up, will be filled with a sense of purpose. We'll decide that what happened to Zachary Berryhills should be addressed, should not go unanswered.
It's hard. As a mother, when you got to go through this. I still haven't seen that video.
Zachary Berryhills did nothing wrong. He committed no crimes that day. He simply wanted to get home. He simply wanted to find his way home. And instead of getting home, instead of finding his way back to his mother and his people back in Oklahoma, he wound up dead that night in June of 2017. The police who arrived that night didn't have mental health crisis training. They didn't know what to do with Zachary. And people like him so often fall within the cracks of our system.
People don't know how it is raising somebody that's mental, that has problems. You don't ever know. They can walk right by with a smile. You wouldn't think anything's wrong with them.
You know, we don't want nobody else to get hurt like what they did to Zachary. We don't want that to ever happen to nobody's loved one.
We just published a petition today on the ACLU of Nebraska website and on the event page for this event, calling for police reform, calling for an end to the use of tasers on mentally ill people, calling on independent autopsies and independent prosecutors.
None of the officers in Berryhill's case were ever convicted, and 3 out of the 4 of them were reinstated to the police force back in April. Reporting in Omaha, Shirelle Moore, Fox 42 News.